So today I want to talk about conflict from an existential perspective. Now, from an existential perspective, we look at conflict from the sense, first anchor is morality. And now I'm not talking about religious morality, but the concept of what we think is right. And that conflict can be between individuals, organizations, countries, belief systems, in churches, whatever, but it's normally about what's right. Maybe somebody hurt you, or maybe there's just a different viewpoint about something, but it's really to a point where people just disagree and don't want to work together anymore. It's so different that it becomes quite nasty, So, and that viewpoint is based on a view of what you think is right, and we call that the anchor of morality. So again, not religious. That's not the point. So but we base that about what we view as right from different things. Different laws. Maybe your morality law is from religion. This is an old Bible, but even I know many churches, they disagree widely, about what it says, and it's so amongst many different religions, not just Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, many of them, so very different views. We have in business how leadership works. We have Mr. Covey suggesting how the habits of highly effective people. And I'm sure some of them are great, but maybe other people believe other things. We had Mr. Einstein, closer to home, challenged Newton's original theories and had to be adapted. Yes, I brought our little banana back. Here's Mr. Banana. So we know a law or a certainty is if I let the banana go, bang, it's going to fall down, right? But even these things like gravity is proven to be relative in certain circumstances. We have, just for your entertainment value, Mrs. Beaton's book of household management. More than 100 years ago, Mrs. Beaton published this book. So your granny's granny might have done this and had certain expectations how the household should be run. So, okay, now we know where it comes from. And it can just come from personal experience or, how you were brought up, your culture, many different things. So, back to the anchor, that cements the stance of this is what you believe is right. Somebody else have a different opinion about that. Now, one of the traditional views in conflict resolution is we encouraged to put ourselves in the other person's shoes, see it from their context, to be patient, to be kind, to listen well, all those. And I think those things are really, really great. So I'm not suggesting not to do it. But I think what we can learn from existentialism as well is if I have a conflict with somebody, it often ends up about not what is right, but who is right. And if we go to the traditional way, we end up by having to debate who is right. But I want to move away from who is right. In existentialism, we rather want to encourage what is right. So if we have Mr. Banana here, now we can discuss is that Mr., Mrs. Banana, whoever, I don't really mind. But instead of my opinion of Mr. and Mrs. Banana and your opinion, and now I need to put myself in your shoes, what we rather want to do is put the opinion, the objective, what is disagreed about on the table. So I'm putting it down on this table. So, and then both parties discuss the banana. It's not my opinion, so I don't take ownership. We have a discussion about what is right. So if I can detach myself from my opinion. Now, I'm saying it like this is really easy. It's not. It takes training. But that's what you want to do. And the other person or party does exactly the same. So instead of discussing who is right, we would like to discuss what is right. Because if we do that, we're now working on the second anchor we want to talk about that is identity. So if we put the topic of discussion or the cause, a seemingly cause of disagreement on the table, and I distance myself from it, so it's not my opinion or his or her opinion, is we can now discuss the banana and how we feel about the banana. So then we would have a better chance to see the way forward based on both of our opinions about the issue, in this case the banana. So that's important, but that takes a lot of courage, because sometimes our opinions get mixed with our identity. And as an existential coach, I want to encourage my clients to see their opinion as an object that they can put away from themselves to be able to discuss. And then, because as soon as it's mine, I identify with it. If somebody disagrees with it, it's my identity. Then I'm under threat. Now I have to put up defense mechanisms. I get projection, get angry, or whatever I do, instead of actually just be able to discuss the matter at hand. It takes a lot of courage, which tackles the third anchor I want to talk about, and is that of certainty and uncertainty. So to do that, you need to have to put yourself in a space where you can live with you might be wrong, or your opinion about something could be not exactly as you thought it would be, and you need to alter it. So to deal with that takes some courage, And then lastly, then you have also a choice to make. You can choose, do you want to act on it or not? But the biggest key is to move from who is right to what is right.